sew along for the Miriam dress. Just want to think about that before I said it. I've got the lovely Miriam dresses behind me. I've actually got the Miriam set here with the jacket, which we won't be doing in this sew along. We'll be doing the dress underneath. So we actually, in the ebook, we had two of these. So we had the one that I wore, this one, which was with the kind of more straightish skirt, and then we also had the one that Janine wore with the full skirt. So yeah, that's what we're going to be making. And this one is made out of our Middleton spot fabric, and this one is out of another fabric that I don't know the name of, but we do still have this one in stock. I'm sure the links will be going up soon. Hi there, hi Anessa, hello. So yeah, this is, in case you're new to this watching, you've stumbled across this video, I should say that the Miriam dress is part of the Vintage Dreaming ebook. So it's one of 5 patterns that you get, and we're working our way through them on our live sew-alongs at the moment. So today I'm going to tackle Miriam. Tomorrow, a bit nervous because I'm going to be doing a welt pocket, which is what we've got on the Vivian coat. So I'm not attempting the whole coat because I'll probably just get a tiny amount done. So we thought we'd do something tricky. So we're doing a welt pocket. And then on Thursday, we're doing the Vera dress. So lots and lots of sew-alongs for our Vintage Dreaming ebook. Let's have a look at who is here. Always nice to see. I know Rosie's popped up and said she's online already. And she's getting links up already as well, which is fab. If you're watching this not live, all the links will be on in the description box below. Let's see what countries we have with us today. Always lovely to see that. We have got Canada. Wonderful. Hello, Carmen in Canada. Who else have we got? Me in London. Rosie's in London too. No, nowhere that exotic. Oh, brilliant. That's the fabric. The Middleton spot's just gone up. Hi, Chantal in the Netherlands. Yay. I want to say, those of you here in the UK, it's also just as lovely that you're joining us. But I always think it's extra special that these particularly, the great thing about these live streams is that wherever you are in the world, you can join. So that's why I always say that. But I'm very grateful that the UK people are watching too. Northampton, hi in Northampton, Caroline, you pronounce probably with a Y there. Welcome. It's very grey here in London. Is it grey there in Northampton? We've basically had some lovely weather and then it's just been robbed from us. Awful. Hello in Adelaide, Mary. Hello in South Australia. And you said LK last time, ADT, and I didn't remember what that was. Sorry. Fresh Cumbria. Oh, is it fresh? Yeah, it's fresh here too. Brisbane in Australia. Another, oh, Canada as well. Yep. Hello, Vanessa in Canada. So it's good morning to you guys. So, just a couple of things as we're sort of all saying hello and welcoming each other into the live sew-along. Bit of a warning. We've got Jasmine here today with us in the studio. She had tummy ache last night and I felt bad sending her in. She was very tired, so she's come in to work with us. She's absolutely fine. She seems fine. And we're hoping that she will be occupied for the whole time, but there are chances that she will come and randomly say things, so just so you know, she may make an appearance. I'm going to be making the Miriam dress, and I'm going to be making this version, because I've now got this version. Oh, hello from Doncaster. I've got this version already, but I want to have a version like this, because personally I think that version is more wearable day dress. This version would be a little bit more kind of to an occasion, well certainly with that, but it feels a little bit more formal. Although I have done a reel which will be going up today. If it's not up already, it'll be going up soon, which on our Instagram, it's up already, fab, which is showing you lots of me not talking, but trying on different outfits and different sort of styling things for the pieces in the ebook. So have a look on Instagram for that, because I do style everything in a kind of everyday contemporary way as well as full vintage, so it's quite a fun watch. Right, now because I was worried that you were going to just be watching darts for about half an hour, I have actually cheated and gone ahead and done the darts in the bodice. So what I thought we would do is we would do the bodice today, because the skirt is relatively easy and it's basically just stitching that on. Oh, hello Wendy in North Yorkshire, say hi to North Yorkshire for me. So because we've got it bagged out, I've basically done it in, I've done the darts in the front from the lining and also for the outer fabric. So I'm using the same fabric. And I should also say this is a fabric that we sell, that I very quite selfishly chose this fabric because I could already see it made up as this version when the fabric agent came round, and I thought I've got to get some of that. So we do have this fabric in stock, and I'm sure a link to it will be going up soon. But yeah, I think it's perfect. It's kind of like got that Hawaiian vibe, and yeah, I can really see me wearing this on a summer's day. Let's hope we get some warmer weather. Not today, certainly wouldn't want to wear it, which is actually why I'm not wearing it today. I'm wearing a Florence dress today, in case anyone wondered what this is. This is the Florence dress. So, right, okay, so I've just realised I have done my darts, but I haven't done my stay stitching. So I'm just going to do my stay stitching quickly, just along that neckline bit there. And I will just to kind of, so stay stitching along the neckline will need to be within a centimetre. So I will be hopping about the instructions a little bit because I want to kind of do a section to make it easier, but you'll notice the instructions will say sew the main bits of the bodice together and then also the bits of the skirt together and then go do the straps. So it's one of those pieces where you've got to do lots of elements and then they all come together. So actually the order that you do lots of elements in doesn't really matter. And this one. So that's just going to prevent it from stretching anymore. So now I've got the bodice piece is stitched. So basically you're going to have to do bust darts and waist darts in both front bodice pieces. So front lining and outer, and then we're going to go straight on to doing the straps. So the straps, actually, if I pivot this round, they have strap adjusters, which make things so much more simple when it comes to fitting, because actually trying to get a strap to fit you, or to adjust the length, is really fiddly. If you can imagine, you're like can't quite reach round there, and obviously if you can reach round there, you're distorting yourself. So it's a really tricky one. It's a very much a trial and error, sort of pin, try it on, take it off, pin, try it on, take it off. So to make it easier, we've got strap adjusters, which is really good. So we do sell these, and you've got two strap widths on the Miriam Dress. You can do, I can't remember what the size is, but you can do a wider strap, or you can do the narrow one, which is what I'm doing. And we sell the strap adjusters in pairs, so as a sort of, you need a pair for a dress, so that's what we've got there. So I'm going to put those to one side because you need to actually do the straps. I did actually quickly sew one up whilst I was waiting to go live, so that's the width that they end up. But we've got these ones to do. So it comes with a little one. That's a little strap there, which is the little bit that stays fixed and anchored to the back there. And then we've got the longer ones. So we're just going to place them right sides together. We try and do one together, and we'll just see how we get on. And we did do this, we did use strap adjusters in our Sienna dress, actually, from our Summer Dreaming ebook. So we have done this before, but I can't remember if I've done it on a sew along or not before. So we've got seam allowance is a centimetre, 10 millimetres, or 3/8 of an inch. So I am just lining up with that. Very fiddly. Now we had a little bit of a search in the office for a loop turner, because we do need to turn these through, and if you've got a loop turner it'll be easier. We couldn't find ours, so I've got a safety pin to do that with, but there it is, yeah. So I'll just leave that to one side for now. Another thing you can do is you can thread those two tail ends, thread through a needle and then thread back through, and that can work sometimes, but I find that that's a bit more risky and a very long thing to do it like that, especially something like cotton that's not as slippy as other things like a rayon, or a silk. Right, popping it under there. We've got right sides together, we're folding in half lengthways, we've got the seam allowance a centimetre, reversing at the start and whizzing down. So we are all big sew off central here, and we are getting prepped. We've got a table that's filling up with cut out things ready for the sew off on Thursday. All the logistics coming together. It's very, very exciting. I will be doing the sew along on Thursday from there. So for the Vera, it will be live from our London hub of our sew off. Very, very exciting. And we're doing it at 1 o'clock, so I will have only been sewing for 3 hours. I'll be fresh then. Certainly couldn't do one later. I took my eye off the ball then and it got really narrow there. Excuse me, I'm going back in there because that's going to bug me. So yes, what was I saying? The big sew off, the sew along. Yes, so we'll be able to do that. But you will be able to watch me sew and everyone else in that room sew, because we're going to be sewing 24 hours and in together in the room. There's going to be a few of us. You'll be able to watch us at any time. So at some point there'll be quite a few people sewing, mainly in the day it'll be busier, but also at night time there will still be 4 of us doing the 24-hour slot, and Alma has got a shift in the sew over at relay in the at night time as well. So things will be going on, and we have got live. I'm looking for some big scissors. Just pass me those big scissors, thanks. And we have got live stuff going on Instagram as well. So on the Sew Over at Instagram throughout the day, we have got different people that are going to come on and do live chats. So some of them are with us, some of them aren't. Some of them are, we've got Lauren from Guthrie Garney up in Birmingham. We'll be having a catch up with how they're getting on there. We've got Lisa Lex Slowing in the hub with us. As is Holly Dennett, as is Julie, who's our pattern cutter, and also Anna, who's a customer and friend of us. We've got Lucy from Sew Essential also sewing with us, and then we have people sewing from their own spaces. So Gabby from Gabardashery is going to be sewing in the night, in the late evening, and joining us on an Insta then. We have got Jen from I can never remember her full name, so forgive me, but Jen from the Sewing Bee up in Glasgow. She's got a little hub that they'll be doing there. We've also got Romana, the little pomegranate. She's coming to do a bit of sewing with us. So there's lots happening, and we're going to try and do lots of chats on Instagram with everybody. Anyway, back to this. This is a less than ideal way of turning it through, but it is a way of turning it through. So I basically trimmed off the ends here. I've also, whilst I was waffling away and not telling you what I was doing, I was trimming down the seam allowance to half its width. So your seam allowance was 1 centimetre, so I trimmed it down to 5 millimetres. Safety pin in, and then I'm just actually going to, with my teeth, close that safety pin, because I did do this at the other one before we went live, and the safety pin decided to open in the middle. It wasn't frustrating at all. Had to unpick. If that happens, you have to unpick the section, feed your little safety pin out, rehook it back on, pop him back in, re-stitch it, and then carry on. So I'm hoping that's not going to happen on this one. Though sometimes I think when mistakes happen live, it's good, because then you can see how I fix them in an unflappable manner. Talk amongst yourselves. It's always tricky to get this bit going at the first, but once you've got it kind of turned in, it's then easier. So you just sort of have to wiggle it. Try and do it like that. So wiggle it so that you're pulling it up over itself. And then once you've kind of, this is why I was saying it's the one time that cotton is not easy to work with. But once you've got it going, it should just sort of pull itself through. I think we're almost there. There we go. starting to glow a bit from that, sort of the stress, the pressure of the safety pin turning, but it's fine. There we go. We're turning and we're turning and we're talking. So as I'm turning, I can talk about, we were just chatting about the sewing bee, those of you in the UK. Next episode, episode number 3, is on tomorrow night. Slightly too late for me in terms of the fact that I need to get some sleep the day before the sew off, but I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to do a live. But what I thought is, on our sew along on Thursday at the sew off, we could have a bit of a debrief. So watch it on the Wednesday night, let's have a debrief and let's discuss it on the sew along together as I'm sewing. Nervously turning it, but I'm making progress. We're getting there, we're getting there. Glad you agree, Sarah, that's a good idea, great. I think it's better that I sleep, go to sleep, and it's not that obviously 10 o'clock is fine, I can go to bed then, but obviously if I do a live chat with you guys on Instagram after the sewing bee, then it would be like 10:15, 20 past 10, and then I'm wired. I won't be able to sleep for a while after that, so I'd rather watch the sewing bee in my pyjamas, straight to bed. Oh, it's happened. Oh well, there we go, you can see how I fix it. How frustrating is that? This close to the end. So annoying. So you just pass those snips there. Thanks, thank you. So let's unpick and away we go. So if you've got a loop turner, preferable to do that technique. But the same could happen with this if you did do the double thread and pulling it through with a needle, because that could also snap. So loop turners are better. Kirby grips can also work as well, some I've heard, but and I've used those sometimes when I really have got no other alternative, but they're harder to grip on the inside. So I'm pulling Mr. Safety Pin out. I'm going to pop him back in. I'm just going to try and pull out that little bit first that has been left in there, the end. There we go. Really get onto that. There we go. Right, okay, so I think we're back on. I'm very nervous though it's going to happen again, so I'm just going to pull that there. I'll try and get it almost through, and then I'll stitch it up. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just want to get this safety pin and the end through. Oh, it happened again. Oh, I'm so close to the end as well. I feel like I could almost see it. And in my mind I'm going, could we just shorten this strap? Yes, we could. It's quite long, Rosie says. I'm going to do that. You can see my hair's a little bit flustered. We're going to do that. I'm going to make an executive decision. I've also caught the attention of Jasmine now. So I'm going to cut that like that. Oh gosh, right. I thought I was getting flashbacks of Sylvia Robe there. Okay, I am now just going to quickly close that little bit as well that we unpicked. So I'm just going to pop that under. Make sure that the just make sure that the bit that's on the inside is not going to get caught. It is pants, Sarah. Very pants. Never mind. It's fine. This all shows you that sewing does not always go to plan. I'm so pleased I decided to do the straps. I've now... Right, I'm going to just shorten the other one now, so that they're both the same. This is true. If you're showing somebody, it will go wrong. Oh, thank you. These are, is it Wolf and These were a present from Sew Over It. Wolf and Moon? Is it Wolf and Moon? No. Do you remember they used to share the same studios as us?
Oh, Wolf and Moon, yes.
It's Wolf and Moon. There we go. Wolf and Moon. Amazing East London earring company. Right, I've cut the same off the other two, so we've got them the same size. We do need to iron it, but unfortunately I've still got these two little ones to do as well, so I'm just going to quickly do those. And do you know what I'm going to try? I've got a needle there. I'm going to do the other method on this. We'll try it out, and at least then I've shown you two methods. Yeah, we had, so Wolf and Moon, a really lovely independent earring company, and they had a sample sale when we shared like a shared office space. They had a studio kind of on the next floor, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. They gave you baskets and like earrings that I think these are quite expensive, but I mean it's handmade, but I think they're about 40–50 pounds, and things like this were going for like £7. We were coming up with like earrings, so many earrings. It's great. Good old sample sale. Okay, so okay, I'll turn this one. Let's see if this one works. Turn this one. No, I'm going to do it with this. I'm not going to do that. So we just thread the needle on the ends. And ideally thread through both. Right, I've stupidly cut mine off, so just imagine that this is attached. When I just realised then when I just, this one's, yeah, I just thought, oh, there, but it's not attached. So if you've forgotten, it's fine. If you've trimmed it off, you can just do an anchoring stitch. And then you send your needle through. And it's the same principle as the safety pin. You've got to try and get it to start to turn itself. So you sort of tuck in those raw ends, and then you just pull. And once it's sort of got itself underway and done a little bit, it will pull the rest through. So I'm just holding that thread there. I'm trying to keep that taut so I can tug it as well. Not quite coming yet. So you've got to be careful that you don't tug too hard, otherwise what's just happened will happen again. I've got a curvy grip here I'm just going to use just to tuck that in. Give it a head start. Come on, little one. Here you come. Ah, there we go. It's coming. It's coming. And there we go, the birth of a strap. Through it comes. Wonderful. One little thing, very stressful. Right. Okay, so I'm not going to do that other one because I feel like I need a break from turning straps. I am just going to now, I've got my iron on this side and thought I'd mix it up today, and I'm going to press this flat. So I'm awkward. I'm going to press it with the iron, making sure that the seam is on the edge. Okay, so that's that. I'll just do the same with these two. Okay, so with the little one, you can just turn, just take that, and you're going to just fold it in half like that, and take one of the circles of the strap adjuster and just drop it, thread it through the circle. So it looks like that. Okay? and then we're just going to stitch that in place. That will get anchored into the neckline at the back, this little loop, but for now I just want to keep those closed so that little loop doesn't go off. Okay, so that's one part of the strap. Next it's the long strap. Now bear with me as I just quickly check this. Yeah, so we're just going to now thread the end through. So this is going through like that. So that's the other part of the strap adjuster, and it's just going through like that. Okay. And then we just need to press over the end. Now we're pressing that over by 1 centimetre. So just folding that over onto the sort of what will then be the back of the strap. Okay. Okay. So then we're folding the pressed over drawer and closing the slider. Okay. So that's then folding over by that amount, by 1.5 centimetres. So once you've done that, you're then folding it over like that. Okay. Just yeah. Okay. Okay. So what we need to do then is we need to edge stitch that in place. So where that folded edge that we just folded over is, down there, we've got to edge stitch that in. Now, I don't think it's worth popping an edge stitch foot on, but it might be worth putting a zip foot on. But I'm just going to brave it and try and do it without. Often with these little thin things, it's really hard because they're quite bulky to get them started. So you need to kind of give yourself, you need to push them and help them on their way. So I can see it's already starting to catch a little bit. Just push him along his way. There we go. Okay. Right. So we're then going to take this end and we're going to thread that through the loop that the little tab is on. And then this comes back through the strap adjuster. Or the slider. This is called the slider and the circle is called the ring. Should still fit. That's it. Okay. So it's attached through there, obviously that's that bit, then we've threaded it back through there and then we've gone back through there. And this now adjusts. Done. We have done one. Wonderful. Okay, so that is the strap. I don't think we are going to be stitching that on. Let me just have a look. Because a lot of the instructions, yeah, I think we can just start to do a little bit. It's, unfortunately, the way that the instructions are is I can't do that many exciting bits with you now because we've just got to sew things together. So we've got to attach the back and things and sew up the skirts. So I think I'll just do those bits with you. We've done one strap, so you can. I don't want to waste the time doing another strap because if you're watching this for reference, you can rewind it and you'll be like, oh, that's a bit of a waste. She's just done the same thing twice. So we will join the side seams. Okay. So there's no darts in the back and there is a side zip. So we need to stitch together the side that's not got a side zip. So the side zip's always on the left, so it's the right. So if you're not sure, I always say the easiest way to do is put it on, so as though this is how it would be. Take your back piece and think, oh, so that's going to go like that. So right sides together, there we go. And that way you know you're going to be doing the right side. And just pin that lining up at the top there. Oops, what I'm doing there. A second. Da, 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 da. It's having it on the completely wrong edge. I was trying to attach it to that. I was like, that's a very short edge and that's not going. The side seam, not the curve of the neckline. So there should be a dart, a notch to help you match up with the dart, the top of the dart, and then just line up at either end. You don't need to overpin it, it's quite a short length. Okay, so then we're going to do sides. We're going to do 1.5 centimetre seam allowance on this one, so we can do a little reverse. And then down we go. And then we're going to press that seam open, but because this is bagged out, we don't need to do any overlocking on these particular seams because it's going to be lined. So I should keep explaining that bagged out is when it's sort of lined, really. So it means that all the seam allowances will be encased and they won't be seen. So that will be like that. The strap will go on with, in fact I could put a strap on now and show you. The strap goes on to this little part here, and you just want to make sure that the front of the strap, which is that side, is going right sides down, and you can just machine tack that in place or just stitch it across, again under a centimetre seam allowance, but just to anchor that in. So it's very obvious on that side where it goes because you've got the definition of the seam allowance there. On the back there should be a notch that marks it. So on the back we've got a notch. So if we're putting it on the back, you can do that as well. There's a notch there just in the back, so you just pop it on that notch. And again, just under a centimetre, anchor that in. Ooh, hit that pin. Should have said be careful to make sure that your strap hasn't twisted, especially if you're doing the thin ones. It's quite easy for these to get really twisted. But there you go, straps are on. Okay, so I can try it on now to adjust the straps. So that all that edge gets neatened up when you bag it out. But anyway, that's how a strap goes on. I'm now just going to sew up some of my skirts because I'm doing the full skirt. I'm not going to do the this skirt, so I'm going to do with one of these. So I've got the skirt panels to do, so I'm going to do that. Oh, I should say we are filming this afternoon a team vlog on makes from the vintage ebook. From the Vintage Dreaming book. So we've all chosen our fabric, and we are going to do a kind of fabric and talk about what we're going to make, and then we'll make it, and then we'll do another vlog. So keep your eyes peeled for that later on this week. I just need to make sure that I'm thinking about centre front skirt. There we go. And the side fronts and the centre front. Side front, brilliant. So there is a lot of fabric in this skirt, but I didn't want to do a full circle skirt because I wanted us to be able to have the patterns of fabric all the way around. And you know, when you do a full circle skirt, if you've got a fabric that's got a direction, it never really works. So this gives you that full circle fullness, but it means that you can, because it's panelled, you can have the print of the fabric facing the right direction, which is really good. Okay, so this is when I need to check that I'm going to put the right side of the side front to the front piece. So this is where notches come into play to help you with that. So usually the notches are slightly different. I'm just checking. Yeah, this looks like that's fine. Okay. Now on the right side we can sew it completely. I'm just trying to know it's not, the side front is fine, it's not going to get the zip in, but when we're coming to the side seam here, we're going to need to think about on the left side, on the side seam, that we need to leave for the zip. So we're not going to be sewing up all of that edge. So I've got a notch here on the side front, I've got a notch here, and then I've got another one further down here, about there. Balance notches they're called, and they're there just to help us line things up, but particularly on something like a panel skirt, they're there to help us work out which two sides go together, because you could easily put the wrong side together. So okay, I'm going to pin the other one, so then that's done. Now we've got two versions of the full skirt, one that's gathered and one that isn't. So if you wanted one that's, I think non-gathered is often more flattering because it's less bulk around your waist, but not necessarily for everyone. Some people prefer that volume, but if you did want something a bit more sort of streamlined, then you can do it without the gathers, but this one is going to be gathered. I mean, and the ratio of gathering that we've put into this is so much less than what they would put into vintage gathered skirts. I mean, they would just put mountains and mountains and mountains of fabric in there. But if you remember, the whole inspiration behind it was that there'd been, you know, certainly with the new look, Dior's new look, which was the initial design behind all of these fit and flare shapes, was that there'd been the war and there had been, you know, there hadn't been lots of fabric. There was, you know, rationing and things, and actually in the UK I think there still was rationing when the new look came out, but it was meant to be a celebration of kind of, look, you know, we can make something that's not utilitarian and that's not practical, but that's just wonderful and stylish and glamorous and a little bit over the top. And so fabric, he wasn't concerned about fabric, Dior. He was House of Dior, they were just going all in with just so much fabric. So I think this particular dress does take about 4 meters, 4.5 meters with the full skirt, but I promise you Dior's would have been more. I think probably 10 to 15. I'm gonna now have to find out how much it was, but it was probably just, yeah, insane. There was an amazing exhibition, I think it was at the V&A, where they had the original kind of Dior, was it at the V&A? Yeah, it was, yeah. And you could see that original new look Dior silhouette and things from the first collection. It was amazing. So I'm now, again, got distracted on what I'm trying to tell you what to do. We're going back to seam allowance of 5/8, 1.5 centimeters. And we are enjoying doing some lovely, straight, easy seams on cotton. It's nice to have a little bit mixed up in there, so you're not going to do too much fiddly sewing in one go. One thing I should say about the fabric that I'm working with, it does have quite a distinctive large print, so because the version that I'm making is gathered, it's going to be very undulating, so pattern matching is not essential. I'm not a big pattern matcher, so I'm not doing that. But if you were doing the flat panelled skirt, I think it would look a bit odd in places if it wasn't pattern matched, because it's all, you know, it's flat. Certainly at the top here it would be a shame if you're using a large print. So if you're going to do that one, I'd use something like a elderflower press or the midnight roses, something that is or the Middleton spot, that doesn't really matter. You're not going to notice that it's not pattern matched. Okay, so I'm going to do these two, and then I thought I'd do a bit of, I'll overlock them. All the skirt options are interchangeable with the Miriam, and they're also interchangeable with the Marilyn. So you can mix and match, and that's why there's so many variations. We didn't want to limit you to skirt options when we were doing two different skirt options. So we thought how much better it would be if you could actually when we're doing the 24-hour sewing, it's on May the 12th, on Thursday this week. We're starting at 10 AM and we're finishing at 10 AM on Friday. So yes, please do join in or donate or buy what we're sewing and support us in whichever way you can. Ta-da! So that's just the front. This is a size 10, so that's just the front because that will gather up like this. Okay. Right. So next up is the side seams. Now we've got side back and a centre back, I believe. I'm just checking that we have names in those before I say that. Side back, yes. And then the centre back. Now the centre back is on the fold because the zip is at the side. What though we have to be aware of are the pockets. So if you're going to make a dress with pockets, then you need to put the pocket in on the side seam on both sides. So I'm just going to do the right side for now, and then I'll do some overlocking, but just something to bear in mind. Actually no, I'm just trying to think here. We'd want to put the pocket on first. Do we have time to do a pocket? Probably not. What should I do, guys? Do you want me to start doing a pocket, or do you want me to just do some overlocking and chatting? Over to you guys. Silence. There's always a delay, and so there'll suddenly be some suggestions. No suggestions. Overlocking and chatting. So glad you said that. Overlock and chat, wonderful. Who needs pockets anyway? Right, okay, I'll just plug my overlocker in. Oh, I'm glad you guys said that. That's nice. I enjoy the chatting too. I'm just. Oh, it is round there. Plug this in. Overlock and chat. Right, I'm just trying not to knock everything over as I bend down and plug the overlocker in. No. Yeah. Okay, move all these out of the way. Oh yeah, also we finished the Marilyn that we did the other day. Very exciting. In fact, what I'm going to make for my, I'm not going to say anything else, but what I'm going to make for my team make is to go with that. So maybe the big reveal will be in the team makes video, but it looks very good in the gingham, I have to say. Stay tuned. Right, let's put that, and that, and that, and that. Yes, so that'll be, what I'm trying to do, because often what happens when I do these sew-alongs is I do enjoy them, but I do often end up making things that are, I don't know, to promote a fabric that we've got, or because it's useful, like the version that I choose is useful for you guys to see, and it's not always things that I would choose for myself. So when I was like, when I'm doing these sew-alongs, I was like, I am choosing things, selfishly, that I know I will wear. And so that's why I chose the gingham, because I thought I've got lots of vintagey fabric things now, so I want to make something in gingham, because then I'll wear it with jeans and things. And yeah, so I want to have a nice summer dress this year out of this fabric, so I'm making that. I haven't decided actually yet what I mean, my welt pocket's not going to be on anything, so that's just going to be an example of how to do a welt pocket. So I don't need to worry about the fabric choices for that. You're making your third Eve dress today. Oh my goodness. I'm going to, oh, I'm glad you like it, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use for Vera. Oh, random. I don't know what I'm going to do for the Vera dress. I would like, obviously, or maybe I have already chosen. Have I chosen what I'm doing the Vera in? No. No, I feel like I have, but I haven't. So you see, I've got the red Vera, which is great. I think I quite like to make a top, a Vera top that would go with jeans. So we've only got the white plain one, so something with a print on it, but a viscose. So yeah, we need to decide that today, because we need to make sure we take the fabric with us to the sew-off. We're going to set up tomorrow so that we can arrive on the day and it's all ready. We're doing it in a workspace, which is the company that owns the building that we have our office in here. They're like WeWorks, if you've heard of a WeWork, so they're kind of like spaces where you can have flexible leases and, you know, have a little studio space just in like the big building. Do you have the polka dot in the navy blue? Yes, I think we do. We do. There's nodding going on, and I'm sure a link will be coming. Hi Noelia, just popping on your lunch. Right, I'm going to the other side. So yeah, we'll have to see what I choose. I'd need to, because obviously the other reason why sometimes I can't choose the fabric I really want to use, because there's only a couple of meters left, and it would just be cruel to make something that you guys really like, and then I go, ha, I got the last of it. That's not very fair. So I have to choose something that there's definitely some left, so that you could also make one if you like what I do. Let's see. Done. Lovely. Overlocking done. That can be pressed now, but I'll probably leave it there for today. I'm not going to press because I'll be off camera. And I think we've done very well, and I think Jasmine has done very well, and the team for keeping Jasmine at that end of the room. I think she's currently watching something on Netflix about that far away from my laptop screen, as they do. Don't know why children need to see things so close, but they do. Frying her brains. I'm gonna go now, guys. I'll be back tomorrow though. Back tomorrow for the welt pockets. So tune in at 1 o'clock for that UK time. Thanks for joining me today, for keeping us company, and thanks for Rosie for answering your questions and popping up all the links. If you're watching this pre-recorded or after it's been live, I hope that you'll be able to join us one day live. It's always really fun to be able to do that, I think. Hopefully maybe you'll join one of the lives on Thursday. Right, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have lovely evenings. Bye. Oh, and days, depending on where you are in the world.